So what are some of the ways you see brands using social media to measure the success of traditional ad campaigns?
One of the great things about social media is it really gives us the voice of the consumer. It gives it to us in a way that we could never get before. So if you take the example of the Buzz Bowl, what we were able to do is actually listen to what the consumer was saying about the advertisements, measure those in a way that we weren't able to before, and actually get the voice of the consumer without ever actually asking them for it.
So what did some of the top brands in this year's Super Bowl do well?
If you look at some of the brands that really excelled in our measurement of social media, what you see is those that leveraged external channels as well as just the TV ad themselves. So you look at Volkswagen with the Darth Vader commercial, which scored very well on all of our rankings. They actually used social media ahead of time. They released the ad on YouTube the week before and had 10 million views of that prior to the Super Bowl even airing. So they did an excellent job of using social media as a channel to build anticipation for what the ad was going to do, and we saw the impact of that immediately, and we saw that carry on throughout the actual event itself.
So how do you see brands now, post Super Bowl, extending their promotion of their ad?
Well, certainly social media helps. Some other examples, during the Super Bowl, Audi used a hashtag during their commercial, which people could then tweet about. That's a great way that we saw that be able to extend that promotion. Using social media, using sites like Facebook and Twitter, are a way that brands can continue to engage with the consumer even after the 30-second spot has aired.
So how do you see social media changing the way brands can participate in the Super Bowl?
Well, some of the examples that we've spoken about previously, it gives you an opportunity prior to the actual event to build anticipation. So brands can start engaging with their consumers. We saw Doritos allowing user-generated content as part of their commercials. So really engaging with the consumer ahead of time, and then extending that engagement after the effect with things like Facebook, promotions on Twitter. So we're certainly seeing social media as a way to allow brands to leverage their investment in the Super Bowl and really extend that promotion further than they've ever been able to before.
Do you see a certain strategy tend to play well within the Buzz Bowl measurements?
Well, certainly, the top ads, the ads that performed the best in our study were brands like Volkswagen, Doritos, Pepsi, and Chrysler all did very well. Those actually had fairly a diverse approach. Volkswagen, as I mentioned, they made everything available a few days ahead of time on YouTube and built anticipation. Doritos actually had a longer approach. They actually solicited advertisements from their users, from their community, and allowed consumers to go on and vote for what they like best. You look at something more like Chrysler, no one quite knew what their ad was going to be. They brought in M&M, they did a 2-minute ad, which was the longest in the history of the Super Bowl, and actually got a lot of positive impact from that ad, but that was a different strategy than the Volkswagen Doritos. So it's not so much that one strategy works better than the other. I think it's as a brand determines what the appropriate strategy is, committing to that strategy, and leveraging external channels along the way as needed to fulfill that strategy is probably the more important piece.